Hello, and welcome to our midweek meaningful conversation. We weren't here last week, so I am so glad to be here this week. There has never been a time where I've needed great conversation to get me going. I need something. Honestly, I need it. I need this more than anything. So this week we're going to talk about self-care. I think which all three of us need this week. I just feel that. So
Yeah.
never has this been more relevant. So if you're watching for the first time, hello and welcome. We are three vloggers to get together midweek for a good chat. Can I actually now say I'm a boat vlogger again? Because we
Yeah.
have got a boat,
Hey.
haven't we? So I can say we are three boat vloggers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do that. Let's do that. If you're not new, welcome back. I'm Lisa from A Life Full of Meaning. We've got Paul here from Narrowboat Life Unlocked and Maxine from Never Too Late Our Journey. So
Hiya.
hello and welcome. So I thought we'd start today by catching up on what we've been up to and then a general check-in to see how we're all feeling. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Great.
Yeah, good. All right. Who wants to go first?
Oh, go on, Maxine. You go first.
Okay. I'll go. It's been busy again in our household. We've moved house again. We're into our second cottage, which is a very little cottage. So it's doing well because we're just gradually getting smaller and smaller until we get onto the boat on Friday. So we've been taking things over to the boat, filling her up very quickly and realising we've had far too much stuff still. So going to charity shops after we've been to the boat. And we built our settee on Monday, which that was interesting. And doing a flat pack settee together in a small narrowboat. But it's finished and we've got something to sit on. So yeah, it's been rather busy and looking forward to moving on this weekend.
Maxine, that is so
That's fab.
exciting.
But your cottage does look like it's getting smaller because I thought you were on a scene from Harry Potter under the stairs, Maxine. It looks.
This is the boot room. It's the only quiet one because the rest of it is just literally a lounge and a kitchen. And open stairs and everything.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Excellent. Maxine, that is so exciting. Good. This has been such a long journey, hasn't it? From the inception of moving onto a narrowboat to the build. Well, I mean, Paul, you've had a narrowboat built, so you can probably understand this whole process way more than me. But it just seems so long, doesn't it? It's so long in the making, and you just can't wait to start. So super exciting times, Maxine, and also stressful, I feel. But we'll get on to that. Paul, what have you been up to?
Well, last week I thought I'd broke my little toe because I was rushing through the boat. So don't do this, Maxine. I was rushing through the boat to the bedroom to put Dexter's bed down and I whacked my little toe on the corner of the fire. Oh, I lay on the floor for about 5 minutes going, ow, ow. And I convinced Anthony it's broken and he said, I'm being soft. It's not broke. And then we finally moved out of the marina after being there for 3 months. I can't believe that 12 weeks had just flown by.
Wow.
And we moved out the marina yesterday. And as you know, it was stunning weather in the UK. We were so lucky. And boy, was it an adventure. I think we could probably get 3 vlogs out of just one day's cruising. We got grounded and had to be rescued by our friends. There's no way we could have got off if they weren't there. I don't know what we'd have done. We got held up at the first lock because it was broken and the CRT were there fixing it. And then we got through the tunnel and it was almost pitch black when we got into the tunnel. It was pitch black when we got out the other side. So it was all a bit surreal, but exhausting. We went through 7 locks, but we absolutely loved every minute of it.
Oh, it's good to be out. It is good to be out. Now, while you were talking, Paul, I had some connection issues there. I lost you a couple of times. Is that my internet or did anyone else get that too?
No, I didn't.
I think it was me, sorry, because I was
You
talking
didn't.
over you before, Lisa. There's a bit of a lag here, I think.
Okay. Well, my internet's a bit dodgy too, so who knows? Who knows? This sort of sums up our week, I feel. Sums it up nicely. So,
We're just scraping
Paul,
through.
it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be so good to be out of the marina and
Yeah.
just that sense of freedom you get when you're
Yeah,
out on the
definitely.
cut. So wonderful. What have I been up to? We did another audition for this game show. Did I
Oh,
tell you
yeah.
about this? This game show that I've applied for with my grandson. So we got through to the final audition. We're just waiting to see
Oh,
if
brilliant.
yeah. Well, I've sort of got no expectations on this. I have really no idea of what it involves, and yeah, I'm just going for it. So we'll just
That'll be
see
fun.
how that turns out. What was that?
I say it'll be fun. That will be.
Did someone say something? Oh man, everyone's frozen. Are we back?
Yeah, we're still here, Lisa.
Yeah,
man,
we're still here.
Oh,
Maxine,
this is going to be
fun.
one. It will be fun. It will be fun. It'll be fun if we can get through this conversation without like my internet freezing every 2 minutes as well. So I'm well excited. Yeah, we'll just see what happens with that. So that's good. And new job. I can't wait to start. I'm super excited about that. So yeah, good stuff happening. So
Lots of things happening. And your boat.
I'm gonna check. Yeah, oh yeah, and the boat going there tomorrow. Glenn's washed all the covers and everything, so we're going back and for another clean. So super excited about the boat as well. So lots of good stuff happening.
Yeah,
Which is
and you're a
why
good
I'm
advert,
wondering.
Lisa.
For
Sorry,
what?
Lisa. I think you're a good advert for buying a second-hand boat because myself and Maxine had a year of decisions to make, and you've been and bought a boat and you're on it before in the space of what? 2 weeks?
Yeah, there is that, isn't there? Yeah, there is that. So I thought, firstly, I want to say hello to everybody who's commenting. There's lots of comments there. I don't even look at them because the internet's so dodgy here that I'm just holding on, trying to just keep the chat going. So hello to everybody. So I thought we'd check in. That's what we've been doing. I thought we'd check in with how we're feeling. There's a lot going on in the world. And to be honest, I'm not doing too well. So I just wanted to check the thermometer of how everybody just is. So, Maxine, I know you're stressed because you're in the last week before you move onto your boat. So what would you say your stress levels are like out of 10?
Oh, I would say 9.5 at the moment.
Wow.
Which is not like me at all. But it's just little things and trying to keep everybody at an even keel and get things changed that need changing without basically causing World War IV.
Yeah.
It's it is, and now just and also we've just realised we've got far too much stuff still, and we have really been really good over the last couple of years getting rid of everything, but we know we've still got far too much. So we're literally going to say, right, we're putting it on and taking it off and going to a charity shop because we can't keep, we've got to be really, I mean, we thought we'd been ruthless, but no.
That's stressful, isn't it? I know we've talked about like minimalism and living with less, but that process of getting rid of stuff is stressful and it's exhausting, isn't it? So
because we thought we'd got rid of everything we needed to. We really did. I mean, because we are really, and I mean, I don't mind. Well, because I thought I'd got rid of what we needed to do. We've got to be a minimalist. I haven't. I've still got Not too much. And
That
mainly it's my kitchen bits. I love cooking, and I mean,
yeah.
I have nearly filled the kitchen already, and I know I've got 2 boxes still to come down. So
No.
hey ho, we'll sort it.
Yeah, yeah. Get cooking. Eat all the food. Eat all the food. Just have a massive feast and get all your friends round. Eat the food. Yeah, that's that's
Oh,
cool. Max, so 9.5. That's a
yeah.
pretty stressful week. Paul, how are you feeling about life? I bet are you feeling all right because you're out on the cup? So
Yeah,
it
I'm
makes
sorry
you
to
feel a
say
lot
to you
better.
two that I'm feeling great.
Paul is the one. He's the one we're holding on to this week.
That's
All
it.
right, guys, because he's got all the good stuff. He's got all the positivity and stuff.
Yeah, I
Me,
think good
I'm
friends is what you
running
need. Yeah.
it.
Sorry, go on, yeah, Lisa, go
You
on.
what? No, what
I was
did you
saying I
just say,
think good
Paul?
friends is what you need and a good laugh over a cuppa.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I'm running on empty this week, and I don't often feel like this.
No?
In fact, throughout my whole life, I've always had energy, loads of it.
Yeah.
Annoyingly so, some people have said. But anyway, I've always had lots of energy. This week, I feel as flat. Well, I was going to say as flat as a pancake. So relevant because it was pancake day yesterday. I feel I'm struggling this week. That's the only way I can describe it. I'm struggling with the oomph to get
Yeah.
out and just do. So this is such a good week to talk about self-care. Now, I'm one of those people, fortunately, I feel great most of the time. And there's that tendency to see self-care as some sort of fluffy luxury indulgence that's I don't know, that's almost like not real life. Do you know what I mean? It's that like, oh, I'm going to have a bubble bath and self-care and my life will be fine. But I've got a feeling there's more to self-care than the occasional indulgent bubble bath. So let's have a look at it and see what we can find from it. Number one, I need some tips. I need tips to get me through the week, and Maxine does too. We're so number one. Let's start with what does self care? When I say self care, what does it mean to you, Paul? Maxine, who wants to go first?
Go on, Paul, I'll
Go on,
let you.
Maxine. Oh, go on then. Right, I'll go first. Yeah, self-care to me, I think you're right, Lisa. I mean, yeah, we know what we should be doing to care for ourselves, and it is going for a massage and having a soak in the bath if you've got a bath, having a read, taking time out for yourself. But I think as we get busier and busier, we find it more difficult, don't we, to do that?
Mm,
And you also feel selfish.
mm,
It's and I don't think even if we had a bath on the boat, I don't think I could lay in the bath thinking, "Oh, I've got to edit the vlog and I've got artwork to do, and
mm,
I'm not spending any time with my partner." I think, yes, it just becomes more stressful. And then I think if you're putting that pressure on yourself to relax more, then that becomes an extra stress, doesn't it? And sort of
yeah,
compounds a problem. I'm speaking some sense this week.
Yeah.
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, like you two, I think if you'd have probably asked me a week ago, my stress levels would have been through the roof. So I think it's good to remember that things aren't going right and things are really stressful, but hopefully they will get better. And it's just a blip. I think my
Mm.
stress levels have gone up slightly. If you're feeling stressed, Lisa, because there must be something wrong in the world if you're feeling flat out and stressed.
Oh, the world. I just want to hide from it. I just want to,
Yeah.
I
And
find,
maybe that's it. And maybe, I do feel, and I didn't want to really say, I do feel selfish because I'm ignoring everything that's going on in the world at the moment we all know what's going on with Russia.
mm,
I don't read a newspaper. We don't watch the news. If a, if it comes up on my phone, this has happened, I don't read it. And some people may think that's a really selfish way of dealing with it, but it's just my way of dealing with it because I don't I don't want that news impacting how I feel. And I don't
Mm.
if does that sound really selfish?
No, I'm doing the same, Paul, because I've got enough
Mm.
going on in my
Yeah.
head and around me at the moment. I'm very little. I've heard bits and bobs, but I'm not delving into it in too much detail because I don't want that as an added thing. Because I know it's
No.
very sad what's going on and everything.
Mm.
But I'm being selfish myself because I'm just keeping my little world to me at the moment until we get it resolved and where we want it to be.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to. I know where my boiling point is, and I don't want
Mm.
to tip it over the edge.
No. And I
Mm.
think if there's anything we could do, we would all do it, wouldn't we? But
Yeah.
I don't yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I want to just say, Paul, actually, I resonate with so much of what you said. And in fact, that's the cycle I'm on at the moment. I'm doing exactly the same. I'm not reading the news. I find the human stories
Mm.
in the situation heartbreaking. Literally, they they break my heart. When you see real people and you can resonate, mothers, with their sons, and husbands and wives that are fighting, leaving, having to separate and literally fight for their lives. I find it heartbreaking,
Yeah.
on a level that just takes me down. And then I do exactly that, like no media, like be in my own little world. And
Yeah.
then I do exactly what you said, Paul. I feel how selfish and privileged I am to be able
Yeah.
to do that. And
Yeah.
then there's that feeling of like, I want to do something. Like, if I could do something, then I would feel better. And then
Mm.
feeling completely hopeless. And I just seem to be going around in this circle. And then I think, no, get out there and live your best life, because by doing that, I know that brings joy to the people that's in my life, so
Yeah.
it's difficult. I've just been going round and round with it, to be honest, but I did find something that I could do the other day, and it gave me so much joy. So I saw someone suggest that a way to help somebody in Ukraine was to go onto Etsy,
Yeah.
to search in the filters digital files, and
Mhm.
then to add into the filter Ukraine, and
Yeah.
then just buy stuff. You'll be
Yeah.
helping one person in
Mm.
Ukraine by buying their products. And I
Mm.
went on there on Sunday, and I bought numerous cross stitch patterns. I don't even do cross stitch, but I bought numerous cross stitch patterns from a lady in Ukraine, and
Yeah.
it's so minimal. But the feeling that I'd helped one person, just helped one person that day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not enough. It's not enough in
No.
what's
But
going on.
it is. If you can help out in some way. I mean, there's an artist, and I can't really name her because I don't think she's made it public yet, but she's getting
Yeah,
some pop star involved, and everyone's donating art, whether it be original art or print, and they're raising money for Ukraine.
right, right,
And I think because this artist has friends in Ukraine, and I
right.
just think we can all do our little bit to help. But I don't
Yeah,
think it's selfish to not watch the news. We can
yeah.
filter what news we want to see, really, can't we? And
Mhm.
how it
Yeah.
affects us. And I've
Yeah.
suffered with depression in the past, a long time ago. I don't mind admitting that, but I
Mm.
don't want to get into that vicious circle of what's going on in the world and what the
Yeah,
negative things that's going on in
yeah,
my life, to then get drawn into that and become
yeah,
possibly depressed again.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think it's selfish at all.
No,
No.
no. It's they're big problems, and there's no easy answers. And I think
No.
if we flip that coin, maybe it is the only thing that we can do is remain positively in that positive space and be out there in the world, because that's where we can make a difference, you know. And maybe that's almost like our, not our obligation, but that's our act of, you know, showing up and being out there. And if there's anything that comes up where we can help in any way, then we're in the best mindset to be able to do something. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm speaking sense this week, honestly. It's just a rambling, it's a rambling thing. So what did I write down about self-care? I'll tell you what I did write down this morning. I wrote down a definition. The practice, so self-care, this is the definition: the practice of taking an active role in protecting one's own well-being and happiness, in particular during times of stress. I thought that was a really good definition.
Yeah.
So it's taking an active role in protecting one's own well-being. So not listening to the news is definitely taking an active role in protecting our well-being. I want to ask, is self-care something that, I hate the word should, so ignore that word, but I can't think of a better one right now. Is self-care something that we should do, like, on the daily? It's part of our day, it's part of our habit. Or is it something that we should do like now, where I'm feeling completely depleted, and this is time where, like, activate self-care? I don't know. I just wondered what you think. Maxine, what's your thoughts?
I think it's something you should do daily. And then obviously if sometimes you have to ramp it up, sort of thing. But because I know over the last, well, it's got worse and worse over the last month, I've decreased of what I usually I have a routine on a daily basis, and it's gone out the window at the moment. And that's why I know why I'm feeling like I am, because I know what I need to start doing. And I like my morning walks are so important to me, and I've just generally not been doing them, and just little things, and my time out and things like that. It's just, and so I think if you do something daily, it definitely helps me. And so but then if you're feeling really, really stressed, then you need to just do some extra things and find things that you love to do and go and do them. It's like the last couple of days, I love cooking, as I said earlier. But so the last couple, I've literally done breakfast, I've done lunch, dinners and everything, and it's just made me feel happier. And so I just need to get back into that routine again.
Yeah, absolutely. Paul, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think you should do something every day. It's so easy to become insular, isn't it? I think if
we lost you.
Oh yeah, can you still hear me?
I can.
Just you dipped out. Yeah, it's my internet. Sorry, Paul.
No, I think it's mine. Yeah, I think it's so easy to become insular and get into a routine that's not healthy for ourselves. You know, even when we were in the marina, it was difficult to go for a nice walk because we had to go a bit further afield. But the days that I did that, I felt so much better than just walking through the car park and walking around the marina with Dexter. A change of scenery does you good as well. And I think also, like you, Maxine, I've sort of got out of my self-care routine, which was to have a meditation every morning, read a book for 20 minutes, even just 20 minutes, I think really helps. Otherwise, you feel like all you've done all day is jobs. So although I enjoy editing, there's many days where I can sit at the computer and I will edit all day, and I'll break for lunch and I'll break for coffee. But that's the only break I get. And apart from going out with the dog, and then Anthony's home from work and I feel like I've just worked all day. And yeah, I think it's important to give yourself that time just to relax. And yeah, and I think, how many times have you two done this, where you've joined a gym and then you've gone and sat in the jacuzzi and it's the best feeling in the world, and you think, oh, why have I not done this before now? And it's just like just 10 minutes in the jacuzzi. And it's the same when you're on holiday, isn't it? I think we all go on holiday. That in a way is self-care, because you book that holiday, you've got something to look forward to. And I lay on a lounger in the sun, and I think, oh, this is just the best feeling. And again, you know, that is self-care, isn't it?
It is.
I'm going to have a look through some of the comments. I was just explaining earlier, Maxine, and pull my glasses. I can't see a bloody thing. So
You can read them out if you like.
yeah, I may need help with reading today, honestly. Yeah, hello to everybody. Let's have a look. Yeah, I can't imagine you being stressed out, Paul, as you're such a chilled out person. You definitely have a chilled out vibe, Paul. That was little old me that said that.
I do. Yeah, thanks. I do get stressed.
Yeah, Claire said meditation. Mick in Thailand, one week on, is that let's have a look, because you can all correct me on my pronunciation. 1 week on Koh Hippie Island, meditation and massage every day. Oh man, that would be so good, wouldn't it? Kath, the world has been a difficult place. So let's do that. The world has been a difficult place for 2 years, and just as we thought things were on the up, there is a war. No wonder we need self-care. I think it's I think it's very true. And one of the things I'm struggling with is I've been thinking, do you know, without a doubt, like this war is horrific. But I'm thinking, you know, there's been conflicts around the world for the last, you know, few decades. Well, I mean, for all time probably, but I'm thinking of all the conflicts and the wars that we don't hear about, that aren't, if you like, aren't as high profile. Does that make sense? You know, I'm thinking about you know, all the atrocities, you know, in Rwanda, for example, and around the world. And I just think, oh, I don't know, I'm not in a great space, as I said, and all that, you know, I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know. So yeah, sorry, I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, more wise words here. I think you should be aware of what's going on in the world, but you must still live your life as you feel. And I think there's real value in that. As I said before, I think, you know, I think there's value in showing up in our best, at our best, because that's when we add the most value. Lots of the situation is something we don't know the real agenda. Certainly there is, and our children will learn. I think, yeah, I think, I don't even want to say putting aside the war. We can't put it aside, but I think we only, you know, we only see one side of it from in the media. The media feed this sort of frenzy. So anyway, let's get back to self-care. When do we know we're at tipping point, when we've reached that level? Maxine, you mentioned earlier, you know your level, and you're thinking, hey, I've got no capacity for anymore. So do you know that level? Did you learn it? Is it something now that you're aware of?
I think I've learned it over the years, and I'm very aware, because I just know that I could bite at anything. You know, anybody, like Steve says the wrong thing, I will just jump down his throat. Or if somebody says I could burst, and I could burst into tears quite easily if somebody just said, they could even just say something nice to me after that, because I know that, like, I'm very full.
Reach that level. That
You're
level.
on the edge.
Yeah,
on the edge. Yeah.
It's just like so, but I know that, so I can judge it, but I have to be really, and I can feel everything. You know, you're tensing up and everything, just to see, right, calm back down again.
Yeah. It's good to know, isn't it? Because otherwise we find ourselves doing that you know, that cycle of all of
Yeah.
a sudden we just reach that point and then explode, or then, you know, hide away from the world, and we have to figure it out. It's like, why do I
Yeah.
feel like this? And then you think, oh, that's it, I've reached the end of my tether.
Yeah.
And I remember a comedian saying, I can't remember who it was, and it was about, he was saying about his wife, saying that she's at the end of her tether, and he was like, I didn't even know there was a tether, let alone it was at the end of it. So, Paul, what about you? Are you aware of like where your breaking point is? I suppose is, you know, have you learned that? Is it something you're aware of?
Yeah, it's really weird. I mean, I don't want to sound crazy now, but as a kid, I really used to. I don't know. How to put, we're all like this week, aren't we? I don't know what to say. I used to get really stressed with homework and exams because I'm more of a visual person, and I think some people are, you know. And I think it's a good thing that there was an excellent talk on TED. I bring TED up every week. There's an excellent talk on TED. It's one of their best talks, saying, "Are we teaching our children the wrong things in school?" And it was saying, you know, that some people aren't born to be educated and become doctors. They may want to be a professional dancer, and that's all that person wants to do is dance all their lives. And it doesn't mean they've got behavioral problems. It just means that's what's in their blood. And I was never a good learner. Everything that you know, I paid attention in class, but nothing would sink in. And when it came to exams, I was so stressed out. I used to get really upset and not be able to do my homework, and I'd hit my fist against the wall. And it really, really stressed me out. And now as an adult, you know, that's not as extreme, but I do feel that if I'm not doing the things I should be doing, I just feel cranky. And I feel like I'm wasting my life and I'm wasting my time, and I shouldn't have wasted my day doing this. I should have been doing that. And I always feel like I need to be productive. But then the days when I am productive, and say, I get up first thing, no social media, no going on my phone. I'll clean the boat. I'll take the dog for a long walk, and I do my editing and I do some art, and I just feel so much better at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Maybe that's another thing that we can learn from that, is just keeping ourselves busy with the things we enjoy, take our mind off everything else, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, over the years, I'm definitely better at recognizing overwhelm. So I'm definitely better at that, because I'd go through cycles of like, because I love to do loads of stuff. I do loads of stuff at the same time. Everything has a tight deadline, and then I'm overwhelmed. And that's a cycle that I'm well used to. I'm well used to. And I'm feeling flat and you know, I'm not depressed. No, you know, I am without energy.
Yeah.
And I recognize that that's a feeling that I'm not so good at recognizing, like, why. But it's a form of overwhelm, because I've overwhelmed my mind with, you know, worrying about the world, when all I can actually do is worry about my world, if that makes sense. So I think as we get older, we get better at knowing ourselves, don't we? And knowing those limits, and then recognizing and thinking, oh, why do I feel like this? Oh yeah, I know. So you know, every day's a school day, I think, when it comes to learning about ourselves. But
Lisa, do you think that's not burnout, is it? It's just you feeling a bit flat because of how you normally feel. And
it's very different. It's very, I'm very familiar with burnout, you know, and I'm much better at dealing with that. But I know it. I know it. This is different. This is just, you know, the energy to get out of bed in the morning is just, you know, is not there. I've made myself go out for a walk this morning. I only did like 3 miles, not my usual 6, but you know, that made me feel so much better. Talking to you guys always makes me feel better. Being part of, you know, this community where we're all you know, we're all sharing our views. It always makes me feel better. So yeah, it's one of you know, one of those. I can't even remember what the question was now. I'm like, my brain.
Yeah, the difference
Right.
between feeling flat and burnt out. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Learning to recognise it better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so you know, we talked earlier about the things that are good for self-care. I googled it this
Yeah.
morning when I knew we were going to talk about this, and I was like, what is good self-care? And some of the definitions that came up, I was reading it, I was like, oh, I don't think that is good for me, actually. So so some of the definitions came up was spending time alone, and there was a couple of others, which was about withdrawing from the busyness of life. And actually, as I was reading them, I was like, oh no, that's the opposite. I actually need to be out there. I need to be with people. I need to be, you know, out there. So what are, apart from the obvious, as we were talking earlier about the bubble bath and the, you know, Maxine, you said, you know, your love of cooking, are there any things that that are not obvious? And the one that comes to mind for me is sleep, because obviously the better sleep we have, the better we're able to deal with life. I think it's one of the biggest self-care things that I can do for myself is ensure good sleep. I wondered if there was any, and I'm not just asking you two, anybody who is you know, watching, what are some of the things, some of the self-care things that we don't think of as the obvious ones? So I just wondered if anyone had any more ideas. So
I think we've touched on this before, haven't we? And I know, Maxine, you believe strongly in journaling, and I think that's something that I've not really done as much as I should. And that's, it doesn't sound like a self-care thing, does it, journaling? But it really does help.
It does. Yeah. I missed this week. I missed 4 days. Well, I did 4 days without journaling until Monday. So like last week and this weekend, and I said to me, no, get it right, get back into it. And so sat down Monday morning and spilled everything out over the last few days. It's a good one. And now I'm back into my routine, and I do feel so much better when I've just got everything out of my head onto my book. It just it helps me, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark has just put the answer is chocolate. Oh, the answer's always chocolate. I saw a great meme the other day, and it said chocolate is the answer. The dinosaurs didn't have chocolate, and look what happened to them. I was like, yeah, it's true. That actually brings me to another one, which I think is good for me, is good food. You know, all those glorious vegetables and, you know, good nutritious food. I tend to, as we all know, head to the chocolate and the cakes and all of that for you know, to make me feel good, where really the self-care, I think, is in a delicious meal with good food. So yeah, that's another one for me. Being with friends, reading, I find is a lovely self-care habit. So there
listening to nice music as well, I think that can be.
Yes, absolutely. Do you know, on last week's vlog, I asked for some album suggestions, and
did.
I had so many great suggestions, and I'm working my way through them, and I'm listening to some music that either I haven't heard for ages or has just never been on my radar. It's brilliant. So yeah, music most definitely.
Finding inspiration as well. Sorry, go on, Lisa.
I was just going to say, I think it was Claire had said nature. Someone had said is a good one. Have I frozen?
Yes. You back?
Oh man, this chat sums up my week. It really does.
Well, it's making us laugh, which is good, isn't it?
Oh, anyway, someone had said nature, and I think that's a good one as well. So
I think
yeah.
photos as well. Looking back at photographs of happy times and things like
Kat
that. That's good as well.
I've frozen. Am I back? Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
I was just saying that Kath had mentioned Rangan Chatterjee's YouTube video about the importance of human connection. I love that man. Dr. Rangan Chatterjee, I love his podcast. I've got his books. I love him. Honestly, if anybody... Well, that's reminded me, Kath, actually. I'm going to go and listen to some of his podcasts and watch that video because, man, it always makes me feel better listening to him. So I think he's got a BBC radio show as well.
Right.
I'm sure he has. So, yeah. Paul, before I froze, you started to say something about inspiration.
Yeah, I think finding inspiration from other people sort of motivates you to do better and to live your life fuller. And also it just I think that's self-care, isn't it? It makes you feel so much better. And I can watch a TED talk or a YouTube video and things like, that only 1% of people do this, and that's why they've got the enriched lives that they've got. And it is about making that extra step. Sometimes we can become a bit lazy and think, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to stick to a healthy diet. And then to watch someone who inspires you, especially when they've gone through difficult times, to become happy and successful, it sort of inspires me to do the same. And I think we all know when we're sticking to a good routine and it's a clean, healthy diet and we're doing our exercise and we're having a read and spending time with friends, we just all feel better, don't we? So that's self-care as well, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. In all our conversations, we always come back to the same thing, which is actually the simplest of activities bring us the most joy and our lives, and we're better for it. We're healthier for it. And it always amazes me at how, even though I know that, I don't do it. Maybe if I had the answer to that, I'd be a self-help guru and make millions of pounds. Do you think? Maybe. But I don't know why.
The thing is as well, it costs nothing. All these things we've talked about cost nothing. And yet we always, what do we do to make ourselves happy? We go on Amazon and shop for things. And and I'm like you, Lisa, I can't pass. I can't pass a shop that's selling pens and diaries and stationery. That's a word. I can't even think of the word. A stationery shop without thinking I need something from that shop.
A new notebook from a new job.
But it brought me happiness.
Look. On my desk, on this table in front of me, I've got my new notebook for my new job. I've got my old notebook for my life. I've got my beautiful diary. I've got 3 in front of me. As if I feel a new notebook is the answer to life's problems.
Mate, it's not, is it? I don't know. What is the answer? We need to find out. You're right. We're making fortune.
Do you know what? I don't know. I don't know the answer, but I do know that my internet connection is really dodgy and I keep fading in and out. So Paul, I'd really like to talk about inspiration more, like do a whole week on inspiration because it's something that I'm really interested in. What what inspires us to take action, and how, you know, is it people, is it the world, you know, is it nature, what inspires us? So I'd like to do more, you know, talk about that fully. So do we think we've covered self-care? Do we think we've got the answers? I think I've got the answer. Well, I know what I need to do. I just need to do it.
I think we all know what we should be doing. We just need to do more of it, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, guys, I'm gonna let's leave this here, because you know, fighting against the internet is just, it's a struggle that I just haven't got the energy for. Thank you so much for showing up, for being here, for taking part in this conversation. You do not know how much I needed this today. So thank you. And hopefully we will be back next week. Maxine, you should be on a boat by then. This is so exciting. Keeping all fingers crossed. Yeah, hopefully next week we can talk about inspiration, and that would be fabulous. So take care, everybody. Love to you all, and let's catch up soon. All right, take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for your messages.